KSHB 41 I-Team reporter Cameron Taylor continues his investigation into the fentanyl crisis. He's revealing the online tools that drug dealers use to target your kids.
The drug dealers are in your homes, they're on the kids' phones, and those drugs can be delivered to your front door if they ask for it.
Libby Davis and her husband Randy know all too well how dangerous drugs can change a family's life.
Every day is a different challenge. Some days you have great days, some days you have really bad days.
Their 16-year-old son Cooper died from a fentanyl overdose after taking half of what he thought was a Percocet pill, a pill his mom says he bought from a dealer on Snapchat. She and her husband remembered the call from Shawnee police saying their son was having a medical emergency. That happened nearly 6 months ago.
Sadly, we have now been introduced to a world of parents who have lost children to fentanyl pills.
In December, the DEA administrator held a news conference about the battle against fake prescription pills. The agency says they're coming from Mexico, and they're not hard to get.
What is equally troubling is that the cartels have harnessed the perfect drug delivery tool: social media.
With social media apps like Snapchat and Instagram, the DEA says anyone who has a smartphone has access to a drug dealer, and that easy access frightens agents like Regina.
I have a question. They just said that anybody that have a snap phone, they can get a hold of drugs. Okay, well, here's my thing. Okay, so when are they gonna, shut down on some of these medias? Social media. You say something about anything of the pandemic, they'll shut you down. But you got kids on there talking about drugs and everything else, guns and do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always, I watch the news and you be hearing things like they talk about things and then you be like, okay, so why they won't shut it down? It's just like my neighborhood. It's just a club that in my neighborhood. And I grew up in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and that motherfucking club gets shot up like every other day. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? It's still up. That's what I say about the media. Like, motherfuckers dying off of it, this and that off Snapchat, this and that, females getting kidnapped. But they're not trying to shut it down. That's that greed, man. They're like, shit, we can't do that. That's a lot of money, shit. He got to learn the hard way.
Patterson King.
And with them targeting our youth, the way they're being targeted, I just want to scream sometimes because it's very frustrating.
There's an entire language drug dealers use on their phones to target kids. They sometimes use emojis, those characters that are often used in text messages. Now let me pop up my screen for you. The DEA says these 4 emojis are code for Percocet and oxycodone, 2 prescription drugs known to be made into counterfeit pills and lace.
Shit, I didn't even know that. I didn't know about the banana. I know about the other shit. But, I'm just saying, man, they got these codes. I hope everybody, subscribe to my channel. This is Kingley. Hope parents and, are checking out on their kids, man. These kids nowadays, man, they are doing everything. And then they get these, some of them like, shit, I don't got to buy it. I just get this drug. I just make it. I'm like, oh, my God, man. They can't get their hands on it. They're going to try to make it. Like, these man, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it.
With fentanyl.
It's potentially deadly.
To combat this issue, the DEA says it works with social media companies to make them aware of these emojis. The KSHB 41I team contacted Snap Inc., who owns Snapchat. In response to Cooper's case, the company told us, quote, "We use cutting-edge technology, including machine learning tools to proactively detect and remove drug-related content on Snapchat. We also use third-party detection tools to scan other platforms where drug dealers may be trying to contact Snapchatters." In January, Snap Inc. told us it added new CDC resources and partnerships with 2 anti-drug organizations. It's to educate and warn about the dangers of fentanyl. The company says its detection rates of drug-related content have doubled since October, and 88% of that content on its platform is now discovered by its artificial intelligence technology. Meta, who owns Instagram and Facebook, says it's against their policies to buy, sell, or trade non-medical or pharmaceutical drugs. When people search for drug content, Meta says they're taken to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration National Helpline.
It hit really close to home this time, but we couldn't be silent. and we needed to use Cooper's story as quickly as we could to have the most impact, especially on our community.